right? So today let us right in this lecture. So let us find out, right, h bar, okay, because of a circular conductor, circular ring, right? Circular ring, h bar due to a circular ring. Okay, so this is also important for the exam. So the two derivations, right? So one is one is infinite line conductor, the other is the h bar of a due to a circular ring. Okay, so let us derive this expression and then we'll continue with the other things. Okay, so let us see the derivation. So today we are going to discuss how to calculate the magnetic field intensity due to a circular charge, right? Ring conductor. Okay, so let us assume that there is a circular ring of conductor, okay, placed at the origin, exactly at the origin. Okay, so this is my origin. Okay, right, this is the thing that we have. Okay, so right, assuming this as a cylindrical coordinate system, so let the radius of the ring, let the radius of the ring is r. Okay, so radius of the ring is r. Okay, so we have two cases here. Okay, so one, if the point is present at the center, right? First thing is, if the point is present at the center, so what is the field intensity at the center of the ring? Okay, so that is one case. Okay, then second case is if the point is present on the axis, the center axis, the axis that is passing through the center. Okay, so right, let us determine, okay, let us determine the h bar at this place and at this place, right? Okay, so these are the two cases. Okay, so we will calculate, we are asked to find out the h bar in these two cases. Okay, okay, so let us go for the first case. What is the first case? So what is the h bar at the center of the ring, or at the center, or at the origin? Okay, so I have a circular ring, right? Circular ring, the conductor is of a circular ring, right? A circular ring, right? The radius of the ring is r. Okay, the radius of the ring is r. Okay, right? Now I need to find out the h bar at the point P, which is exactly at the center of the ring. Okay, so this is the setup. Okay, right. Now let us calculate the h bar. Okay, right. What is the formula for h bar? H bar is equal to integral IDL bar cross AR bar divided by, right, what I get is 4 pi r square. Okay, correct. This is the formula for h bar. Now, right, I is the current passing through the conductor, so it is constant. So let us evaluate I into DL bar into AR cross AR bar. So this is equal to, I is a constant, right? It doesn't, okay, I is a constant. It's the current passing through the conductor. Okay, so this entire thing can be taken as one vector. This entire thing can be taken as another vector. So A cross B is nothing but AB sine theta, correct? AB sine theta. Okay, just a second. Okay, so A cross B, that is equal to AB sine theta. Okay, so therefore here what I can write, IDL cross AR bar, H bar is equal to, so similarly what I write is IDL modulus of IDL, okay, into, right, okay, modulus of A modulus of B into sine theta, correct? So modulus of AR bar into sine theta, okay, divided by, what is the, right, we will get as it is 4 pi r square. Okay, correct. So A cross B can be written as modulus of A into modulus of B into sine theta. So on the similar lines, IDL cross AR bar can be written as modulus of IDL modulus of AR bar sine theta, okay, divided by 4 pi r square. So this is equal to, right, what I get, this is equal to integral, right, IDL, let us consider the modulus of DL is DL, modulus of DL bar is nothing but DL itself, DL into modulus of AR bar. AR is a unit vector, So therefore the magnitude of AR bar is 1. Okay. So into 1 into sine theta divided by, right, 4 pi r square. Correct? Understood? So I have a conductor which is right, a circular conductor. I have a circular conductor, right? The radius of the circular conductor is r. Okay, I have a circular conductor. The radius of this conductor is small, is r. Right? Now I am determine or I would like to find out the value of h bar at the center of the ring. Okay, clear? This is the thing, right? So for finding out h bar at the ring, so what is the formula for h bar? H bar is equal to integral IDL bar cross, right, AR bar divided by 4 pi r square. Correct? Now IDL bar is one vector, AR bar is another vector. So A cross B is nothing but modulus of A, modulus of B, sine theta. Cross product can be written like this. So on the similar lines, I write I DL, modulus of DL bar, modulus of AR bar into sine theta divided by 4 pi r square. Correct? So this is equal to, right, I will remain as it is. I is a constant, the current flowing through the conductor. So I is a constant. Modulus of DL bar is nothing but DL. Okay, and modulus of AR bar is 1 into sine theta divided by 4 pi r square. Correct? Yeah. So now this is equal to, right, for continuing from there, what we get, h bar is equal to, right, integral I dl sine theta divided by 4 pi r square. Okay, so this is equal to, right, what is the integral term that we have, right, the thing is, so this is a basically, right, I sine theta and 4 pi r square are all independent of dl, so we are integrating with respect to dl. Correct? So the element of integration here is L, right? Okay, so dl, so this is equal to, right, I sine theta is common, so we'll write it outside, constant. 4 pi r square is also constant, so put it outside. So this is integral of dl. Okay, this is integral of dl. So the variable of integration here is dl. Okay, so variable of integration is dl. So remaining things are all constant, so we can put them outside and we write the integral of dl. Okay, right. What is dl? dl is basically the differential change in length. Okay, differential change in length of the conductor. Okay, so that will be definitely like this. This is dl, this is my dl. Correct? Okay, so this is the dl, this is the conductor, right? So the dl will be nothing but a small part of this conductor. Okay, so when I integrate this small part, that means when I calculate the total length of this, right? So the total length of a circle is basically nothing but the circumference of the circle. Correct? Right? So the total length of the circle is nothing but the circumference of the circle. So therefore, integral dl basically represents the circumference of the circle, right? Integral dl is nothing but the circumference of the circle, circumference or length of the circle, right? So what is the circumference of the circle of a radius r? It is equal to 2 pi r. Correct with this? Clear with this? Right? So the variable of integration is dl, right? What we get is integral dl. Now dl is nothing but a small portion of the conductor. Okay, so if I integrate this small portion, that means if I am adding the total conductor, that is nothing but the length of the conductor, right? What is the length of the conductor? Because it is a circular ring, it's a circle, so the length of the conductor is basically, so the length of the conductor is basically, the length of the circle is nothing but the circumference area of the circle. So that is given by 2 pi r. Correct? Okay. So the circumference area of the circle is 2 pi r. So therefore, h bar is equal to I sine theta divided by 4 pi r square into, right, this total integral dl will become equal to 2 pi r. Okay. So this value is equal to 2 pi r. So pi gets cancelled, 2, right? So this is equal to h bar is equal to, so what I get, I sine theta, right, divided by r, and r square gets cancelled. So I'll get 2r. Okay. So I by 2r into sine theta. This is the expression that we get. I by 2r into sine theta. Okay. I by 2r into sine theta. This is the, yeah, just a second. Okay. So this is the expression for h bar at the center of the ring. Remember, this is the calculation at the center of the ring. Okay. Correct? Understood, ma? So this is right what we get, the expression for h bar at the center of the ring, right? Okay. So I'm repeating this this again. So it's a simple derivation. What we have done, what is that? We have a circular ring, right? We have a ring which is of circle nature. So for this ring, we need to calculate the h bar field intensity at the circuit at the center of the ring, right? So for calculating that, firstly we will assume a small portion of the small portion of the conductor. So that, let that portion be dl. Okay, this portion is dl, right? Now this portion is dl, right? So the formula for the magnetic field intensity is h bar is equal to, right, integral of idl cross ar bar, idl cross ar bar divided by 4 pi r square. So here the cross product is idl cross ar bar, which is nothing but a cross b. So a cross b can be written as ab sin theta, correct? A cross b is equal to ab sin theta. So we'll also get the same thing here, idl into a modulus of ar into sin theta. Modulus of ar is 1, so idl sin theta divided by 4 pi r square. Now now here, what is the variable of integration? So this is what I get, right? So here the variable of integration is dl. Okay, we have to integrate this with respect to dl. Okay, so therefore what we can do, all these things are constant with respect to l, so we can put them outside, right? And then we'll get only integral dl. Okay, so again, integral dl, what is dl? Dl is a small portion of the circle. So when I integrate this small portion over the entire area, that is nothing but the circumference of the circle, right? The length of the arc or the length of the thing is nothing but the circumference of the circle, which is given by 2 pi r. So I substitute 2 pi r. So what I get is I sin theta by 2r. Okay. So or I by 2r into sin theta. I by 2r into sin theta. So this is the expression for, right? Expression for, okay, the h bar at the center of the ring. Okay. At the center of the ring. Correct with this? Clear with this? Any doubts in this? Any doubts in the derivation? Okay. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Okay. Otherwise, right, we'll go to the, if you don't have any doubts, okay, let us go to the next thing. Yes, I think all of you have written the final expression is I by 2r into sin theta. Okay. Next is, if the point is not present here, but instead if it is present on anywhere on the axis, on the central axis, okay, on the axis passing through the center. So let us assume the point P is present here. So this distance, this height, okay, so it is present at a height of z from the center along the z axis, and this is the radius. Okay, let us say it is small r now. Okay, so capital R is this. This is the capital R. So AR bar is along this particular line. Okay. Right. So this point, this thing, I leave it as a homework for you. Right. So we need to calculate the h bar at the point P. Right. Let this angle be theta. Okay. So I have given everything. Right. I have given you all the required things. Okay. So the point P here I have calculated, right? The expression that I got is h is equal to I by 2l 2r into sin theta. This is the expression that I get if it is at the center. Okay. If it is not at the center, if it is anywhere above or below the center, okay, on the z axis, okay, then what is the case of h bar? So this is a homework for you, right? The setup is like this. So the point is located at a distance of z from the center on the above. So this is the point. The coordinates of the point can be written as 0, 0, z. Okay, right? The conductor, the center, the circular conductor is on the OR axis. Okay, so consider a small element dl, right? Then let this element be located at r, 0, 0, the coordinates, right? And then we can calculate h bar, right? H bar, we know the formula. H bar is equal to integral idl bar cross ar bar divided by 4 pi r square. So here you need to know what is this thing. So what is dl bar, what is ar bar, right? We should know, and then we'll get all the things, correct? Okay, so dl bar, you can observe dl bar we are taking, right? So dl bar is variation along phi. Okay, dl bar is variation along phi. Remember that point clearly, right? Remember, okay, dl bar is variation along phi. Ar bar is the vector joining these 2 points, right? Which is r into ar minus z into az divided by root of r square plus z square. So I want you to solve this, okay, on your own, right? Determine the h bar, okay? And in the next class, okay, if you have any doubts, you can ask me, okay? Clear with this? I hope that it is simple thing. You can calculate in 5 minutes. So this is the Biot-Savart's law. And one more thing is, I will like to give you a problem so that you can solve on yourself for Biot-Savart's law, because the problems are also important, right? So write down one problem and solve it as a homework. We did it yesterday. We solved one problem. So just for practice, I'm giving one more problem. Okay? Yeah. Hope that you will solve this also. Okay? Yeah. So right. So write down the problem. Okay. A current filament carries a current of 10 amperes. Carries a current of 10 amperes. Carries a current of 10 amperes in the AZ direction. In the AZ bar direction. Carries a current of 10 amperes in the AZ bar direction. In the AZ bar direction. On the Z axis. AZ bar direction on the Z axis. Okay? On the Z axis. Find the magnetic field intensity. Find the magnetic field intensity H bar. Find the magnetic field intensity H bar at the point P1, 2, 3. At the point P1, 2, 3 due 1, 2, 3 due to the filament if the filament extends from z is equal to minus infinity to infinity. First case z is equal to minus infinity to infinity. Z is equal to minus infinity to infinity. B, z is equal to 0 to 5 meters. B, z is equal to 0 to 5 meters. Okay. So I am repeating the problem again. A current filament carries a current of 10 amperes in the AZ direction on the Z axis. Okay. Find the magnetic field intensity H bar at the point P1, 2, 3 due to this filament. If the filament extends from A, Z is equal to minus infinity to infinity. B, Z is equal to 0 to 5 meters. Z is equal to 0 to 5 meters. C, okay. So this is just to test your knowledge. Let's say C, Z is equal to 5 meters to minus infinity. Okay, right? So what is this case C, right? The case C, 5 meters to minus infinity means, is it a finite conductor or an infinite conductor? Right? It is also infinite conductor. Remember that this is also infinite conductor. Okay, minus infinity, right? Sometimes in exam this is infinite conductor, we know directly. This is a finite conductor, we know directly. But what about this, right? There might be some doubt. Okay, so that's why I gave you the third case. This is also infinite conductor. Okay, so it is also infinite conductor, and the value have to be solved using infinite conductor itself. Okay, don't get confused. Okay, so this is the thing that we got. Okay, so simple problem, right? We need to find out h bar, okay, at the point, right? Z is given. So the answer for your verification, right? I have solved the answer for myself. Okay, so in the first case, right? So h bar in the first case will be equal to minus 0.6365 AX minus 0.6365 AX plus 0.3183 AY. Okay, so it is a vector. Remember, it is a vector. Okay, so we will get the h bar as minus 0.6365 AX plus 0.3183 AY. Okay, similarly, in this case, in the second case, that is in the finite conductor case, h bar will be equal to, right, minus 0.106 AX 106 AX plus 0.053 AY. Okay, so these are the values of h bar in those two cases. Okay, now, right? So I have given you the problem, and I have also given you the solutions. You can verify, you can solve the problems and cross verify. Okay, yeah, somebody is waiting. Okay. So I hope this is clear, right? Okay. Any doubts in this particular thing? So we have finished the Biot-Savart's law, right? So this is all about Biot-Savart's law. So Biot-Savart's law gives us the method for finding out magnetic field intensity or magnetic flux density. So h bar is directly proportional to current, is directly proportional to the length of the conductor, is directly proportional to the sine of the angle between the conductor and the point line joining the point. Okay, and is inversely proportional to the square of the distance. So from that we get h bar or dh bar is directly proportional to ideal sine theta by r square. To remove proportionality, we introduce 1 by 4 pi. So h bar is equal to, right, ideal sine theta divided by 4 pi r square. Okay, so if we just modify this, we will get h bar is equal to integral ideal bar cross ar bar by, right, 4 pi r square. So this is the formula for Biot-Savart's law, mathematical form of Biot-Savart's law, which we can right, use to find out the h bar due to any type of conductor at any point. Okay, so we have taken two examples. One example is in a line conductor. One is of infinite length, other is of finite length. In those two cases, we have solved what is the h bar due to the line conductors. Okay, similarly, we have taken a circular conductor, right? These are the two popular examples, right? That's why we have taken them. Okay, so h bar due to circular conductor, one at the center of the conductor, other at the any point on the axis. Okay, so these two things we have taken and we have shown, right? We can calculate h bar due to any type of conductor at any point. Okay, the procedure is same. We need to evaluate dl bar cross ar bar. Okay, once we do that, we get the value of things. Okay, right? So this is all about the Biot-Savart's law. Okay, right? There are no limitations of Biot-Savart's law, right? Biot-Savart's law is the only law or the universal law where we used to find out magnetic field intensity. Unlike Coulomb's law, right? Coulomb's law fails or Coulomb's law has certain drawbacks, whereas Biot-Savart's law does not have any drawbacks, right? We can apply a Biot-Savart's law to any type of conductor and any type of field. Okay, So that's why it is the only method by which we can find out magnetic field intensity. Okay, but only thing is, whenever we go to two-dimensional or three-dimensional charges, that is surface charges or volume charges, in those cases the application of Biot-Savart's law becomes a little tedious, okay, or little complicated. Okay, so Biot-Savart's law becomes very difficult to solve in case of two-dimensional or three-dimensional conductors. Okay, that is like a sheet of charge, or like a volume charged body, right, volume charge, etc., etc., right. So two-dimensional and three-dimensional charges can be solved using Biot-Savart's law, but the process is a little complicated. Okay, so therefore to make it easier, or to in those cases, right, in case of a sheet of charge or in case of a volume charge, to make the process a little easy, right, we have got a another law, okay, by which we can calculate magnetic field intensity or magnetic flux density. That law is the Ampere's law. Okay, so Ampere's circuital law or Ampere's work law, right, so which we will discuss in the next session. Okay,